Afternoon, wherever you are. Let me thank you once more for today and welcome everyone to today's show, Face the Nation GH. Look, with just a quick update on what happened yesterday or what we discussed in regards to Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden. Now, the American media is now reacting to the statement that came from White House. A lot of people are perceiving the president handlers as incompetent, very matured, and they lack clear understanding of diplomacy. Because already the relationship between the United States and Russia has actually sour, and they are doing everything there. They will try to get Russia on their side against China, where South China Sea is concerned, so that they can isolate China more. But here is the case that Hala, the United States foreign policy towards Russia, as or it's gradual, it is hostile. I wouldn't say it's too good. And most media houses are blaming that the whole thing was it was a planting. It was pre-recorded because we saw response that came from Vladimir Putin this morning. You know, he said he wasn't joking. I mean, no one should take it as a joke. His response to Biden's words said Vladimir Putin is a killer and he will pay the consequences, because he tries to temper or influence the U.S. elections. This morning, this is what Vladimir Putin said. I say, as a child, that's what he was trying to say this morning. What he's trying to portray is Biden accusing him of being killer, and rather than President Biden a killer. That's what Putin is trying to tell us. Look, I mean, it's not sitting too well with most observers because in the moment two superpowers will be engaging in such confrontation, one is sending bad signals. I mean, these two countries cannot come together, and moreover that there's no hope. Say the relationship between these two countries, we can do something about it. Let's get into the media and see what actually, I mean, some of the issues are coming up in regards to this particular issue. This is how it started this morning. Say, Putin wishes Biden good health after he calls him a killer. Yes, Putin said that this morning. Okay, say, wishing him good health. Now he hopes he will get well because, as in a way, also like ironically, or can be actually Biden. I know say a lot of Americans are speculating it's a health issue, but I think that's what Putin was trying to tell him. I would say to him, I wish you good health. Russian President Vladimir Putin said when asked about President Biden's recent comment calling Putin a killer and warning Putin would pay a price for Russia Air Force to interfere in the 2020 presidential elections. So him say, no pay Russians, through their diplomats, issue that statement, and then go for accuse United States White House said that comment in a free White House by was very unprecedented. In the first place, when he's issue such a comment. Then I think is this back and forth is not going to help. When it happens, it borders the allies of United States. You see, Russia doesn't have so much. Just for the past 10 years, I don't know who's I say, or recently under Obama even didn't have too good relationship with Vladimir Putin. But one became so open to this. Russia officials are demanding an apology from the United States and threatening a response after President Biden said that he believes Russia President Vladimir Putin is a killer. I think on the corridors of diplomacy, the Americans should apologize. Now let's get into this issue too. I know say a be attention, a be and I didn't see, To me was sad. I mean, when people start discriminating on race or people's background, I say, demonstration protesting violence against Asian Americans erupted in multiple cities on Wednesday after a shooting spree in Atlanta left 8 people dead, 6 of whom were Asian women. In Washington, D.C., people gathered in the city Chinatown neighborhood to hold a vigil and marched through the city carrying signs that said Asian lives matter and more. Look, now no more Black Lives Matter, now Asian lives matter. The United States president, I responded, you have some celebrities being so I express my condolence. So very renowned one was from James, LeBron James, and I issued a statement to it. I say, James, it tweeted this morning, my condolence goes out to the families of all the victims and the entire Asian community tonight on what transpired in Atlanta. Demeaned as a coward young man, just senseless and tragic. That's what LeBron James said. You see, and this is what the United States President Joe Biden also said this morning. President Biden and Vice President Harris will meet the Asian American leaders in Atlanta on Friday as part of previously scheduled trip to express support for community following the deadly shooting there earlier this week. A very responsive and a swift decision. They are going to Atlanta. Biden further ordered or instructed said, President Biden has just ordered the flags outside the White House and other public buildings and military posts be lowered to have staff to honor the victims of recent shooting outside Atlanta that left 8 people dead, including 6 Asian Americans. You see, there's this, I know that most media houses are taking it. I've seen this lady trying to politicize this event. I mean, it's not moment for this. When the nation is mourning now, I don't think there's a need to, I mean, you have something with Obe related to say Trump comments, let me read it. I mean, I don't want to discriminate when it comes to information. I say, when I first heard the former president use words like kung flu, and Chinese virus, I was really horrified, Democratic Rep. Grace Menk said in a new interview, blasting former President Trump for fanning the flames of anti-Asian hate that has led to attacks such as deadly shooting in Atlanta, Georgia. Look, you see how I was here dragging this shooting in relate to Trump the statement, But you see, that's what we call concurrence in time. Trump, as soon as Trump passed this comment, and in few hours, we'll be reacting based on Trump's statement. Now, you could accuse him. But here's the case, we're in the government, so our past statement has been long. Idea SC just recently, that's last night, I was watching me called Dragia, the Nebabishim. You see, just condemn or this kind of statement, it doesn't help. Meng blames Trump for anti-Asian violence. Anyway. Once more, I'll sympathize with all Asians. I almost suffered that bad fate. I know it's not a good thing. We always think ANC, but in a series, so there's not much you can do. There's this story. I know so most American media are picking, mainstream media are picking. I say, it have to do with the 2020 general election. The U.S. Postal Service internal watchdog says there is no evidence to support accusation from Pennsylvania postal worker that his supervisors ordered workers to tamper with mail-in ballots. The claim from staffer Richard Hopkins garnered the attention of Republicans who pointed to it as evidence of massive voter fraud in 2020 election. That's federal institutions so as to disprove. He said it wasn't true. I believe now United States Supreme Court attorney Trump the last shot, I mean all right, once you have Trump on, let's get into this story. Coming wiki, there's this the week ahead of us, and I think say it's going to be the second appearance of Donald Trump. Trump is actually coming out to the extent so Obama wrote a book about his administration. That is also something a lot of people are so eager and they're so interested. They want to know because he just made or announced last night. I say, former President Trump is reportedly scheduled to sit down for a dozen interviews in the coming weeks with authors writing books about his administration. The list of authors reportedly includes multiple reporters who covered his time in office and re-election campaign, including the New York Times, Jeremy Peters, Megan Herban, Fire and Ferry. Yes, inside the Trump White House, author Michael Wolff will also interview the former commander-in-chief. Some of us are so eager to read some of this book and go through some of these commentaries. Now back to the COVID. There is this particular story. Share. I see. There's a new poll. Okay. I say majority believe West over from pandemic. A new poll shows growing optimism over possible end to the COVID-19 pandemic. A majority of registered voters questioned said that they believe the West is over. The first time more than 50% of respondents have reached that conclusion since the beginning of the outbreak. Now, on the a lot of people started engaging in the vaccination. I feel it's actually restoring the confidence of the world, if I should put it. Same way, may encourage you be take vaccine. I say go ahead with it. I say that one didn't end there. In the moment we talk about Fauci, we're talking about I say Anthony Fauci and Ron Paul go head to head in heated clash over mask. I was reading this, let me follow tweet, Andra and you man. I say, you have been vaccinated and you prayed around in 2 masks for show. Senator Ron Paul said in one part of his argument against wearing mask. Here we go again with the theater. Anthony Fauci responded, let's get down to the facts. We in our country now have variants circulating. This is the point. You see, I know. I know. Somebody asked me about this issue. I don't have any background in medical. I'm also. It's knowledge, common knowledge. I'm also seeking from the experts. I say vaccine is a cure, and I say a preventive. Even once I didn't most high standard one, Pfizer, Moderna, they give 85%. There's that 5% rule. It's a Fauci. Even though so I take vaccine, you put us or double mask. As a person, I don't see anything wrong with this. But deeper be the person will say like, say a drama, dear warrior. Because you see, what vaccine now, that's not it. Probability say a bit prevent you from getting it again, and a simple to me, effects in Babonte. But I think so we'll give you double caution. Just get vaccinated and still put on the mask. And I put a challenging on this. It was a very interesting back and forth. I just watched it, I'm like. Anyway, once more, my main sympathizer with the Asian community in the United States about that loss, and he trying to separate politics from this issue because we be which is I did say in C. Now, do be answer for your time.